Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Romel Thomas. I'm with Restore and Rebuild Podcast. I'm here with my host, Bryce Tidwell. Also,
Derek Scooter Davis.
And Myron Flowers of 360 Fit Performance.
Now, as you all know, R&R Sports Podcast is where we highlight the culture, the sports, and the society, and how all those things intersect. Today, we've obviously got Scooter with us. As you can see, he's a very accomplished young boxer, and we've got his trainer along with us as well. We're going to be able to get into a little bit of what it takes to become a boxer on this level.
and it's a personal question I want to ask Coach. He's getting ready to open up his new gym. So with that being said, do you believe state and local governments dictate what sport your child plays?
I don't think they should. I mean, I didn't grow up in the area where they did. I grew up in the area where the community kind of pushed you to what you were exposed to, and it gave you different options on what you wanted to do until you figured things out. So, I don't think they should have that right.
Got you. So with that being said, just give us the demographic count. When you was growing up in that area.
The demographic count.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, it was a neighborhood full of kids. So it was households you had third, second generation households where you had at least 3 or 4 children in each household. A lot of activity, a lot of community development. Sports were played all day long, so you may went from the football field to the basketball court to baseball, soccer. So it was an active community, I would say. And then really my neighborhood was one of those neighborhoods who really was the forefront of the athletic program in high school. So again, you had these generational gaps where you either had brothers or sisters that came through the high school that either played multiple sports as well.
So with the society as whole, with your gym coming up on the horizon, do you feel as though society lost that whole sense of restoring social capital?
I think community-wise, it has, because the communities aren't the same, neighborhoods aren't the same. It's not as safe, so you're not sending your children outside right after school to go play if you don't know where they are, what's going on, or who's going to be out there. What I noticed today is that I'm training younger kids to get in shape and do things that we naturally did. And what's happening now you have to you incorporate and building these I call them structured athletic social environments. So it's safe, right? You create these environments. You got different kids coming from different backgrounds, bringing them together. Also, different social economic situations. In some cases, being around other kids, different ethnicities, things of that nature, which is helping develop them. But it's in a safe, structured environment. So basically what we're doing is we're creating neighborhoods in a safe facility.
Okay. So we're going to piggyback on that in a few minutes. But Scooter, can you give us the location of your gym, your boxing gym?
Southwest Joliet Street, Hidden Bankers Boxing Gym.
Okay. And that's not too far from the Berry Farms area?
No.
Okay, so picture this, Coach Myron. So if your gym was located in the Berry Farms area, I know you're having the ice rink there, you're going to have the football fields, and there's going to be a lot of other venues as well. People can participate in athletic curricular activities. How do you think that gym would have fit in the Berry Farms community if it was there?
If it was there, like we talked about earlier, you expose kids and people to certain things, then that's what they're going to do. So it's no different than, you exposing your child to certain foods. There's only certain foods there for them to eat, and that's what they're going to eat. If you expose those children to those type of activities, the neighborhood is going to dictate what it is that's going to be done there. And you'll see a lot of kids be exposed to different sports they may not even have an opportunity to do or thought of doing, but at least trying. And if you don't like it, so what? You just do something else till you figure it out.
Right. And we all African American here. The Berry Farms area is predominantly African American. Scooter Davis, he boxed personally, when you train him, do you see him fitting in perfectly with any other sport? So if he did ice rink, if he did ice skating, you think he'd be a perfect hockey player? Because it's not a lot of black kids playing hockey. But picture your ice rink.
I would definitely take out the word perfect. Now, would he be able to ice skate? Yeah, eventually he would be able to get it because he's a quick learner and he is an athlete. But you know, the thing in my training is that you got to train guys to perform better athletically, regardless of what the sport. It doesn't matter. So you got to be ready to do whatever you're forced to do. So in that case, would he be able to adapt? Yes, he'd be able to adapt.
Okay.
So that means he would be falling.
Question. With today's athletes, and obviously you've been a trainer for so long, you probably been able to track the different types of athletes and the different eras and different generations you've seen. Would you say that the drive, because what I hear a lot is that the drive of today's youth isn't the same as it once was. It's not the same as generations before it. Have you seen any of that? Have you seen any of that in your own training and your own experience? Do you see you having to get children in this generation, you got to get them up a little more to attack what they're supposed to do?
I would agree with that. The drive is a little different only because of the environments that are created. The environment has changed in some of these communities. So it's like a baby. No baby is born tough, right? So when a baby is born, the mother doesn't look at the baby and say, "Oh, you're going to be tough." The baby gets toughness from the surroundings, uncles, aunts, grandparents, community, friends, parents. You gain that toughness from your being and then the things that you're exposed to. So I'll see kids sometimes, and their attitude will remind me of back when I played or what the kids' attitudes were then. You could say, man, he's a throwback, or he will make it back then. So it is far and few, but there is a lot of kids that's still out there that are like that.
Right. Now I'm about to ask you to be a problem solver, and it sounds like you kind of already started doing that. But how would you say we bridge that gap? How would you say we get it to where this generation got that same sort of fire in them without having to be directed, without having to be pumped up so much? How do we bridge that gap?
So I coach too, and I talk to coaches around this country. And all of them kind of saying they had the same frustration regardless of sport. You gotta get people going more. You gotta, guys are not competing as much. They finding excuses on why they're not doing it. I think what has to happen is has to go back to the way we were raised, where you had this reinforced language being spoken. Meaning, it didn't matter where I went. If I went to my friend's house, I was getting hit with the same language. When I went to my cousin's house or my grandmother's, it was the same thing that I was getting preached. So you heard these common things: don't quit, fight back, work hard, never give up, don't cry, right? Show toughness. So you hear those things, but you were hearing them everywhere. Now, say I'm coaching football, and I got a young man who may not have a father in the household, may just be his mom. Not to say his mom can't give him the toughness, but he's only getting that from us for 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours that he's with us as coaches. Well, those things aren't being reinforced when they leave. So if they're not being reinforced when we leave, we're losing. We have to hit the reboot button every time. So if you leave me 2 hours, you with me 2 hours and you're in the street 22 hours, and you're not getting the same knowledge and the same teachings and the same principles from different people, then we're losing.
Yeah.
We're losing a little bit. So I just noticed that's what has to happen. I don't think the kids have changed. To be honest with you, I think our parents, some of these coaches, have changed their ways because this is not the way we were raised and brought up. So I think we can do better. We know better, so we can do better by it.
No, absolutely. I honestly, I personally think that it's never right to just blame the kid. I think you got to blame society as well. I remember when I was a kid, when I was 6 years old, 7 years old playing basketball, you had to be one of the best players on the team to get a trophy. By the time I was 13, 14, the whole team getting a trophy.
Right.
Now, Scooter, I know you earned every single one of these belts. If you were to go in a fight, and every single member of the boxing match was to get a belt, 6, 7 plays, it wouldn't mean anything. And I think that I think that society is to blame as well, you know, and I think that we got to get back to rewarding what deserves to be rewarded, and not just rewarding you for coming out and putting on the jersey.
The true competitors, you know.
Well, also too, the parents have to. We want so much more for our children, better for our kids, right? So my parents wanted better for me, and that's fine to want better for your kids, but they didn't come with a lack of understanding of work ethic and work with that, right? So I think now what's happening is that we're rewarding kids more with that lack of understanding of what work and drive is to get that. And then at the end of the day, you gotta look and say, well, what's really more? You know, you don't know you were poor. You didn't know you didn't have certain things. You just did it. So it was like, how much more do you really need? You know.
See, with that being said, I feel as though there need to be more Big Brother programs in store with these kids. A lot of kids, I don't know, Scooter, do you believe a lot of kids look at their parents as authoritative figures more so than an idol or some type of model person they listen to on a regular basis?
Yes and no, because me and my dad relationship is kind of both, but we joke around, we have fun. It's like, my dad's really my best friend, so we can talk about really anything. So, but I know some people don't have a relationship with their parents.
Exactly.
So
even within the school system, I know you said you go to Westlake High School. A question for you: is it hard for you to relate with your peers that might not participate in sports, or?
No, because they understand. I mean, they appreciate what I do and my grind. They see that from videos and my trophies that I'm really working on something and I believe that I can become something. So they just chip in and encourage me and all that.
That's good. So with this podcast, Restore and Rebuild, you already know sports reform the community. Sports is bringing people together. So let's keep sports going. Romel Thomas.
Scooter Davis.
Myron Flowers.
Right too, bro.